Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. I can't even contain myself. There is so much crap going on right now. I can't even y'all. There is some really crazy stuff going on right now in real time, right now. So there's a lot that we need to talk about. There's a lot of craziness going on. We need to talk about all this and then some. So we're gonna be taking a little bit of a trip down memory lane, and there's so much going on. Real talk. We got stuff that's going on with Erika Kirk, Candace Owens. We got a lot to talk about. Okay, Erika Kirk, Candace Owens, Tim Pool. I mean, it's just like MAGA. All of MAGA is starting to implode. Okay. Oh my. They are starting to implode. So, yeah, it's only Wednesday. Oh my God, it's Wednesday. Oh my God, we're only halfway through this week. Let me just say that we're only halfway through this week. Dag nab. But we're gonna get into this conversation because there's a lot to be had. So do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms, please and thank you. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, make you sure you are doing me a solid by simply hitting that follow button. I'm on all those platforms. I'm putting on a lot of updates and stuff like that in article format on Facebook, on a bunch of other cases, missing person cases, etc., all over there on Facebook. So make sure you are following my Facebook page, because honestly, there's a lot of things that I'm talking about over there that I don't have time to jump in front of a camera and tell you guys all the breakdown and everything. So I'm giving you guys breaking down the updates in regards to missing people cases, other cases that are going on in the world. So make sure you are following that page, please and thank you. Okay, make sure you're subscribed here on my YouTube channel, right here on my main page, please and thank you. Go to my Pascal Show clips page and Pascal Raw. Subscribe to those YouTube channels as well, because we're talking about a lot of stuff. And in fact, I'm sure there's gonna be clips coming from this show, highlights from this show that you're gonna see on Pascal Show clips very, very soon, because there's a lot going on, y'all. A whole lot of shaking going on. So make sure you are subscribed to all those channels. Hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it is random though. Okay, it is random way. So make sure that notification bell is set to all right? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Support the channel if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. Check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, and I got a cool little announcement to share with you guys in a little bit while we're in the show that I'm going to share with you guys that you'll only be able to find on PascalMerch.com. So, without further ado, we got to get into this conversation, okay? Oh, my dear God. I don't even know where to begin, because there's so much stuff that's been going on lately with this whole Candace Owens Charlie Kirk conspiracy theory, all right? At first, you had Tim Pool, which we will most likely circle back and talk about Tim Pool a little bit later on in the show, and hopefully I don't forget, okay? But you had Tim Pool entering the chat. You had Steven Crowder, of all people, entering the chat as well. Now you have the woman herself, Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk, speaking out. Oh my God. Let me tell you something, guys. She comes in with the heat. She is definitely not feeling the stuff that is being said out here in these internet streets. In fact, she finally speaks out, and a lot of what she's saying is directed to one person. Yes. And one person only. And who could that be? Yes. Candy O. Yeah. Candace Owens has been ruffling a flock of feathers, okay? Not just one bird, a flock, a murder of crows, whatever you want to call them, all right? Because if you know, a group of crows is not called a flock, it's called a murder of crows. Just so you know, useless knowledge right here in the brain. But here it is, okay? A lot of people have been speaking out in her defense. Well, one person in particular. Now, I just did this video. A lot of y'all were looking at this, and I do appreciate you guys watching the video. Of course, be sure to go check out the video, all right? I'm not playing the whole doggone thing here, but one person has swooped in her defense. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say he was like, Captain Save-A-Ho, you know, he's not like, dun, 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 you know what I mean? It's not like, here I come to save the day, you know what I mean? He's not doing the Mighty Mouse thing, all right? But he is coming out and saying like, hey, there are certain things that Candace Owens is saying that is actually true, is actually factually true. So I want to play that a few clips with you guys on this first, before we get into all of the mucky muck, for lack of a better term, okay? Because there's a lot of muck, and it's getting hella mucky, okay? I'm just gonna be real, all right? So let me just share a tiny bit of what I played for you guys in a previous video, and like I said, I'm gonna speed it up first off. Don't be surprised, don't be angry, all right? But there's a few things that he does say here that I think are very interesting. And then, of course, you know, later on, he does speak about how Candace Owens may not be 110% on everything. She may not be 100% on things, but she is at least trying to unearth certain things that are going on in this, okay? Now, here's the thing. This is on Theo Von's podcast. He just recently did this. He just did this interview with Tucker Carlson yesterday, okay? And now this clip is now getting shared quite a bit, because this is the first time Tucker Carlson's actually speaking out and saying something, okay? Let me just be real, all right? So let me just play a tiny bit of this.
I don't know, but it means that, you know, the FBI has a moral and legal obligation to look in every direction and to be open-minded, as you would in any investigation, in journalism, in science. It's all the same process. I don't know the answer, and I'm going to sift through everything as open-mindedly as I can, as honestly as I can, to get to what the truth is. That's science, that's law enforcement, that's journalism. It's all the same. That's justice. And I just want to make sure that is happening. And I just don't have a ton of confidence in the FBI or the men who run it.
Now, one of the things is that's very, very big is the fact that he said, I don't believe the FBI. I don't know about you guys, but that's huge, okay? Huge deals, huge deal. It's a huge deal, in my personal opinion. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know nothing about Tucker. I mean, I have my own personal opinions about Tucker, okay? You feel me? And we're just going to put that on the side of the table right now, because now he's kind of batting for a team that I'm very curious about, okay? He it's intriguing, all right? I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson. Sorry, okay? Cat's out the bag, okay? Not a fan of the guy. Sorry if that upsets anybody. I know some will be like, well, we're not following this guy anymore. I'm sorry. I'm just being real, okay? Would you rather me be honest or just lie, okay? I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson, but there are some things that he has done in the past that I'm like, oh, that's intriguing. He has had some very interesting people on his show that I appreciate hearing what he's been covering, right? Not everything I like about Tucker Carlson. Let me just say that, all right? But I don't see him as a person that is a conspiracy theorist. Now, I know some of you guys were like, some of you guys who commented on the other video, some of you are like, yeah, he's not very much that tinfoil hat wearing kind of guy. He's very hardcore facts, true blue journalist, 110%, right? In fact, he did a whole thing about Thomas Crooks, the guy who took aim at Trump, right? That was very, very interesting, right? And I appreciated that episode because I was like, this is stuff that you're not getting from mainstream media. They're not doing a deep dive and giving us some real interesting things about the guy who actually tried to take out President Trump. Okay? Now, So there are things I do appreciate about his platform. All right. Never thought of him. I've never gotten the vibe that he was a tinfoil hat kind of guy. But there are some things that he says in the very beginning of here that I think are very interesting too, because he confirms certain things like, yep, the whole situation with the planes, those damn Egyptian planes that apparently were just so coincidentally following Erika Kirk around. Those things are true. And he says some other things here here as well that he says that are true.
But I will say a couple of things. I don't understand the official story at all.
There's that.
Of his assassination.
I don't understand it. And I want to make sure that there is a truly rigorous and honest federal investigation of it. And I'm definitely concerned about that. A. B.
First off, thank you so much, Mr. Tucker Carlson. Okay, for saying exactly the quiet part out loud. And I'm going to say this to you guys because I think a lot of y'all are in here and we are all, still getting over this cold. But I think a lot of us in the chat, in the family chat, which I love. Okay, thank you so much. We are very bipartisan, right? Some people are conservative, some people are center, some people are hardcore right, some hardcore left, some center right. We're all over the political spectrum in this chat, which I do appreciate. That's one thing that I love about this family. We're all able to congregate in one space and talk and try to be civil with each other, right? We can all agree that the timeline is odd. We can all agree that the information that has been given to us by the feds is weird. The fact that we're hearing it from the likes of now Tucker Carlson now, it is very comforting to hear someone who used to be, he's not so MAGA now, okay? But who used to be hardcore Trump is everything is Trump, suddenly say, I don't trust the establishment. I don't trust the BS, the stuff that they're giving us because it's BS. It's actually very interesting. And I feel like now with this Charlie Kirk situation, with the Epstein files, majority of America is starting to join hands. You know, we're starting to bleed together and turn purple in a way with our reactions to how things are going on, right? How they're giving us information and how they're hiding things and lying to us in plain sight. I think that's a very wonderful thing to see, that I feel like I'm not alone, right? I feel like I have not lost my marbles, right? And we all feel the same way. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue on. He said B. What is B?
I think that I don't know many of the details, but I know that recently Candace said that Egyptian registered aircraft
Here we go.
were following Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, around for a number of years in different places in the world. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. And I just want to say that is factually true.
Say what? So you say that is true, right? Remember everybody said, or not everybody, but people were reacting, being like, yo, Candy O losing her mind. She done lost her marble. She's so dumb. She's talking about this whole Egyptian plane thing. He's actually backing it up too. Now, I still am wondering, where does he have the factual evidence to back this up? Because that's quite a claim. And also backing her up with that's quite a claim to back up, being like, that's actually factually true. That I'd be like, yo, where did you vet that info? Are we sure that's 110% real? But that's just me. But it's still interesting that you got somebody who's a little bit more grounded in the journalistic era, for lack of a better term. Okay. No disrespect to Candace Owens. I'm just saying, like, he's a journalist. He's been on Fox News and all that, right? It is interesting to me that him, of all people, is sitting there going, what she said is actually true.
That's true. So that's like the one data point that I happen to know is true. What does that mean? I have literally no idea. I can't even guess, but that's very, very strange.
And what is Egyptian? It could mean aircraft from Egypt. Who knows?
I think that they were registered in Egypt.
Got it.
And but that fact is true. So and it also her claim that, there were kind of a disproportionately large number of foreign registered cell phones at the event. That's also true. So what does that add up to? I don't know, but it means that you know, the FBI has a moral and legal obligation to look in every direction and to be open-minded as you would in any investigation, in journalism, in science. It's all the same process. I don't know the answer, and I'm going to sift through everything as open-mindedly as I can, as honestly as I can, to get to what the truth is. That's science, that's law enforcement, that's journalism. It's all the same. That's justice. And I just want to make sure that is happening. And I just don't have a ton of confidence in the FBI or the men who run it.
So there we go. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Go and check out my full video, my full reaction to that video. But I do think that that is very, very important to hear. The fact that he's like, wait a second. Well, they say that, you know, he says, we're hearing confirmation from him as well, basically saying that, yes, that is factually true. The Egyptian planes that were following Erika Kirk for a good long time are actually factually true. I'd like to know, okay, if that is actually true or not, okay? Is he full of schnish? Or is he actually full of info? That's one thing I'd like to know. But there's other things that I do agree with when it comes to this whole investigation. The breadcrumbs that led to the demise of Charlie Kirk. How were they able to piece all these things together? How were they able to make 2 + 2 = 4, right? Show me the background. Show me the equation. Show me the math, right? Show me the receipts. That's something I'd like to know too. How did they realize that aside from him walking into the precinct and turning himself in, what led them to believe or to, you know, concur that Tyler Robinson is the assailant and that he was doing this all for the love of his furry trans lover? Like, I'd like to know. I feel like those are all very normal questions that we'd all like to know. Let's not forget, he also said in that piece, which we talk about in the video, go check it out. He also talks about how they were saying things on X months before Charlie Kirk lost his life. Make that make sense. All those things did not just, they didn't happen to say, you know, September 10th is all going down. And when it does go down, you'll know why. It just seems so strange to say September 10th of all dates, right? And say, boom, this is the reason why. You see what I'm saying? It just seems weird. It just seems a little bit weird. All those things tell me that Tyler Robinson did not work alone. I really do think that they do have their assailant. I do think that they have the guy that pulled the trigger. But I think that there's a lot more things that helped him get to the place where he actually was able to take that shot. That's what I think. And there's a possibility that there are bigger entities involved in this situation which caused the demise of Charlie Kirk. I do believe that. I truly do. I don't think he worked alone. It'd be insane. Sloppy work by anybody. Investigation as far as local PD all the way to the feds. It would be absolutely sloppy of them to automatically go, well, he just operated alone. He just happened to find that perfect spot on that roof to do what he did. Perfect opportunity. Nobody saw him. He was able to slide in and slide out without a problem. Those things are a little bit weird, don't you think? I'm just saying. Seems a little bit odd. And then, of course, there's all these other factors in it, even after he pulled the trigger, that are weird in my personal opinion as well. But moving on, because I know everybody and their mama is really wanting to hear the craziness that has been going on as of late. Okay, Erika Kirk. She had some things to say, and we're gonna get straight into that meat and potatoes. And I'm gonna say this too. I'm not surprised that this is coming out of her mouth now. I'm not surprised. She doesn't directly go after and say Candace Owens' name, but we know exactly who she's talking about. Now she's saying it. She's just not saying the name, but she is saying it, okay? Now it's not just TPUSA, Turning Point Faith, Turning Point USA Faith pastors going after Candace Owens. You are now hearing the CEO, the new reigning champion and CEO, John Cena. I'm kidding. But the CEO, Erika Kirk, is finally speaking out and telling her basically, this is my husband. This is absolutely insane. Let's take a look at this here. So Erika Kirk addresses conspiracy theories surrounding her husband's, his demise. And I'm just going to say this. I don't have the time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I'm complacent. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. And then she says more. We're going to get straight into the video. I think this is very interesting. You tell me, is she saying this directly to Candace Owens? Or is she saying this to just everybody who's talking about the conspiracy theories revolving around the death of Charlie Kirk? I leave that question up to you as you listen to this. Let's rock and roll.
With Erika Kirk sharing her journey with America and the world, we are grateful at Fox to have her here to shine a light on healing as we all miss and mourn the loss of her beloved Charlie Kirk. Not all of her journey has been without, hate, conspiracies, and oddly, speculation about where her husband is buried. Now, for the first time, Erika, who's with me now, addresses all of it from the perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American. Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to do you dirty like this, but real quick sidestep here, because there's a lot of speculation that Charlie Kirk isn't actually dead. I'm sorry. You can't make this up. The reason why, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at y'all who think that he may not be gone, okay? But I saw that video. Yeah, unfortunately, he's gone, okay? All jokes aside, him gone. But there are people out here that actually feel like he's not really gone, that he's still alive, that they faked his demise. He's another Tupac. He's another Biggie. He's another Elvis, okay? He is in Jamaica having a great time hanging out with Elvis, all right, and Tupac. That's what they're thinking right now. They think he's off somewhere because he just can't handle the world anymore. He can't handle this life, speaking on a microphone, preaching about the Lord and all that, okay? Because apparently where he was buried is secret. No one knows where he's buried. The only people that know where he's buried is Erika Kirk and his kids, Charlie Kirk's family. Okay. Now, because of that, I'm not kidding, guys. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. It's the truth. People truly think, oh, well, this must mean he's not really alive. He must be gone. Well, or he must be alive somewhere, drinking pina coladas with Tupac and Biggie and Elvis, just having a grand old time, right? He's gone. I'm sorry to say that. They're not trying to throw some crazy red herring type of thing. This is not some sort of false flag. He is gone. You see the footage. This man lost his life. May he rest in peace. He is buried somewhere where his family and people close to him can visit him when they see fit. This is why in the very beginning of this video, I forgot to preface that, this reporter, okay, this journalist asks her about that, okay, because people are coming out with even more crazy conspiracies. Things are flying off the hinges. I'm going to be real. Things are really flying off the hinges with all these theories. He is gone, guys. You've seen the footage. He's gone. He's not hiding out somewhere. Okay? He's gone. And Erika Kirk has something to say about that. So that's what's going on here. Just so you guys know, I'm sorry I had to preface that so you're not going like, what is she talking about here? People are speculating that Charlie Kirk is not gone, that he did not lose his life and he's fine. And they're just hiding him so that they can stack up on the bread. No, They're stacking up on the bread for show. She's there to promote a book, by the way, that he apparently wrote. That is true. Okay. All right. But at the same time, he's gone. Okay, guys. Okay, let's rock and roll.
Perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American.
Let's try it again.
Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? One thing. This is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that. But this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole. Whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to.
Okay, first off, damn. So it's interesting because I'm looking at the chat, and there's a lot of y'all who, there's a lot of mixed reactions here. Okay, some of y'all are like, I'm staying with Erika. I stand with her. I stand with her. I get that. And then some of y'all are like, this is just fake, right? And I can understand. I get it. I get the side eyeing. Okay, I get it. Don't worry, because Candace Owens did react to this video just a little bit ago. We are going to be looking at that very shortly. We're not done. So again, I question you guys. Do you think this is authentic or do you not think this is authentic? I'm going to be real. I feel like it's authentic. I do. I think she's burnt out. I think she's tired. I think there's every single time she opens up her phone, there's always some new tweet, some new update, something with her name or Charlie Kirk's name attached to it. So I could see her being annoyed. This being fake, maybe it is fake. But I could see her getting frustrated. Here's the other thing, though, too. There's a part of this, and don't worry, we're coming right back to this. I'm not playing this all over again. But where was this? 348. There's a part here that just seems... Hold on. there's a part here that seems like it was scripted. Like she knew that they were going to ask her this. Like this wasn't just spur of the moment, knee jerk, let's ask you this question, you know, where this reporter is like, hey, I got a question for you really quick. You know what I mean? It feels like this is a bit planned, but that's just me. Take a listen. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? It feels, she says her piece here, right here. This seems scripted. Just hear me out.
My babies and to my parents.
Here it is.
One thing.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing.
That part. This whole part, this whole beginning. Hold on.
Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
So clearly this is scripted. I'm just going to be real. Or at least Erika Kirk knew that she was going to be asking her this specific, very specific question. I'm going to give her an opportunity to take the podium, like get on the soapbox and say what she needs to say. That's what it kind of feels like to me. It feels a tiny bit scripted, but at the same time, she still said what she said. Okay. No, I don't think she's like reading something off on a teleprompter somewhere. Okay. I mean, Erika, okay. She's speaking from, you know, this is her guttural reaction on everything that's going on. She is not happy with what's going on, and she's got a lot to say about it. Is she wrong for saying what she is saying here? I leave that question up to you guys, but I do think it is authentic. I do think that it's real, but those questions were definitely scripted. She knew that these were coming. That's at least my thought. And then also at the same time, she'll be like, don't forget to buy my book. Or I mean, Charlie Kirk's book. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. We got more.
I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful, and we are human. My team are not machines, and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. You name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
You know, the conspiracies that are out there, all of the like, do you think that there is more of it now because you do shine your light? I mean, did people just expect you would just go away?
I don't know what they expected.
They pick on you because of your accessories. I mean, I've seen some of it.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, it's what the conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously. Wow. If you want to find and pick me apart, go right ahead. I do not care. I don't. This was happening before Charlie was murdered. Both of us have been through the ringer of people will call you whatever they want to call you. They will. But I have seen it firsthand impact the people that I love, and I'm done. I'm done. And if people think that I was just going to wilt away, I'm not going to sit in a corner and cry and be in fetal position. This is a duty to my husband, and it's an absolute honor, and I will never back down. And so my message to them is to stop. To stop.
And that's what we will say here on Outnumbered 2. God bless you. Hold up your book.
Stop in the name of God.
Huh. I didn't expect that end part. I forgot that part. But they literally just said, and there's my book. There's that. So let's not forget they are selling a book. Okay? But there's that book. Stop in the name of God. Now, here's the thing. What say you on that? Okay, let me just tell you this. I'm on the side of we want truth. We want transparency. We want to know what exactly happened to Charlie Kirk. If it is just Tyler Robinson doing what he did, and it's just him and he rocked solo dolo, he did that whole thing all by his solo dolo, then let's see the proof. That's all we're asking for. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all we're asking for. The proof. It's a simple ask. All right? Not saying, oh, we were able to get to this solution and not even showing us the long math. I think that's weird. Now, could that be lack of due diligence on the FBI's part? Maybe. Or could it be that they just don't want to uncover the truth of what actually happened to Charlie Kirk? That might be more than what they've led us to believe so far. Maybe. But one thing is for sure, I'm going to tell you this. You got to look on both sides of the fence here. When you're looking at this situation with, I'm just going to pull her back up here. When you look at this situation of both, you could see both sides, is basically what I'm trying to say. You can see both sides with Erika Kirk. Hear me out. Because there's a part of you that's like, okay, I feel her pain because she just lost her husband a few months ago. All right. It was not long ago that Charlie Kirk was doing his own little, change my mind or, his little segment. Right. And then all of a sudden lost his life. It wasn't very long ago that he lost his life. She is still mourning. She really is still mourning. But see, I'm going to pause there. Because a part of me goes, well, you're still mourning. Why are you out here on Fox News she is on, like, literally, she has been on a nonstop Fox News push. She has been on Fox News. I've noticed, like, as of the last few days, she has been on every segment or every single type of show you can think of promoting his book on Fox News. Okay. This Stop in the Name of God. I'm being real. So she hasn't really stopped. She hasn't even gotten the chance to really mourn, right? She hasn't really gotten a chance to really mourn. So in my mind, I'm like, are you in mourning? You need some time to mourn. Because as soon as he lost his life, she's been out there, right? Boots on the ground, doing what she needs to do. Now, let me just say this too. Everyone mourns differently. Everyone deals with loss differently. Some people will bury themselves in work, right? And then some won't. Some will bury themselves in their bed and never come out for 3 months, right? So again, when we look at this situation, we can't really fully judge her for what's going on, for losing her husband. But then on the other side, I can see how there are people that are going to side-eye the movements from the likes of Erika Kirk, especially after how he lost his life. Right after he lost his life, she's suddenly CEO. She's the spokesperson for everything. She's out there doing every single event in the White House, outside the White House, on Fox News. Now she's pushing a book. I can see how people will look at that and side-eye the hell out of Erika Kirk and go, something smells wrong. Something smells off with this situation. I get it. I could totally see both sides 110%, right? For me, just my opinion, there's just a part of me that wishes that she would just take some time to really say goodbye. Just go disappear for a little while, Take some time to take care of the kiddos. Mourn in the way that you want to mourn, not with what TPUSA is telling you to mourn or how you need to mourn. Take the time to just say goodbye in the way that you need to say goodbye. Because I feel like there really hasn't been time. It's been several weeks, several months, and she has been doing nothing but hitting the pavement hard. And let's not forget, now they got a book. Now he's got a book. You see what I'm saying? It just seems interesting, to say the least. The timing is strange. The timing is odd. And this is the reason why I think a lot of people are side-eyeing the situation and feeling some type of way about how she's been maneuvering. Now, the things with TPUSA, let's talk about that for a hot minute. The things with TPUSA, I got to be honest, they've had plenty of opportunities to set this thing right. That's what I think. Now, I know there are some naysayers out there that are going to look at the situation and go, look, Candace Owens, said anytime, any place. They gave her a time and a place, and she said she's not willing to be there in the flesh. So that's on her, right? Well. She said she was willing to be there via, video chat, and they were like, no, we're not doing that. We're still doing it without you, though. And it's like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. Just ride with it and just be cool with it. She can't be there physically because of whatever reason. Maybe she has plans that she can't get out of. Just ride with it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Right? But they're just like, nope. But she's the one who's been asking all the questions, right? She's the one who's been pushing the envelope. In fact, I'm not the only person that's been covering her coverage of the stuff and the allegations that she's put out. Okay. There are plenty of other commentators and other podcasters out here that have been covering her every single move, Candace Owens, when it comes to this Charlie Kirk stuff, right? Like, there's plenty of people that are following everything that she's saying. So clearly she's stirring a pot. She is definitely stirring a very, very big pot. And TPUSA has the ample opportunity to jump in here and make her look like Boo Boo the Fool. But what happens? They say, no, we're not doing that. You want us to do what? Say that again. We ain't doing that. We're going to do it on our own time. And if you don't have time to be on there in the flesh, in person, sitting in our studio to have this conversation with us, then we're not going to have you on the show, which makes no bloody sense in my personal opinion. And I don't care if it's, they're worried about her being tapped into her producer who can Google an AI information, live on the show. They could do the same doggone thing themselves too, guys. Think about that. Okay, somebody said that in the comments section after a live, and I was like, that person, I forgot who said it, but I was like, that is a very good point. They could be tapped into their own little matrix as well. So what are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't defeat facts. It doesn't change facts. If she looks like a fool, no AI and no statistics are going to change anything. It's not going to change how we see the facts if they're making her look like a damn fool, right? See, see, again, I get the frustration that Erika Kirk has. I get it. If I was on the receiving end of that kind of stuff, and it's like every move I make, they are watching every single move I make, and they're judging everything that I do. Yeah, I'd be frustrated too. But I would do everything I could to make sure that conversation actually happens, right? Let me make sure that Candace Owens, who cares if she can't be there physically? I'd be turning to racist Blake Balake Neff, okay, and Andrew Colvett, and I'd be turning to them being like, listen, y'all, the hell? Let her Skype in. Who cares? Let's bury this hatchet. Let's get it over with. The more people are just, the more and more you deny, the more they're going to start side-eyeing you guys. What the hell's wrong with you? Use your brain. At least that's how I think. Blake Neff. That's the guy who, the bald guy that was sitting there making the announcement, reading on a piece of paper, basically saying like, we will address all of these things. on a scheduled day, and if Candace Owens is willing to join us during that time, she'd be more than welcome to be there. And she said, I'm ready whenever you say when, bro. Say when, I'm ready. And then they said, oh, no, you can't. If you can't be there physically, oh, darn, you can't be there physically, then we're just going to have to do the show without you. What? That makes no bloody sense. Now, I know Nick Fuentes and some other people are like, oh, Candace Owens, stop being such a little B word and such. Just go. Just go and do it. What the hell's wrong with you? All that stuff, right? But at the same time, it makes TP USA look like a fool, not Candace Owens, at least in my personal opinion. If I wanted to bury the hatchet and make her look like a fool, because this would be the perfect time to have all her followers watching that actual live show, making Candace look like a dumbass live on camera with nothing but facts, right? Nothing but receipts. And going, by the way, if you want to join us, make sure we're here live every day at such and such time. Make sure to subscribe, right? Don't follow her because she just keeps lying. You see what I'm saying? It'd be the perfect time to have everybody go, well, she looks like a fool. They sound great. I'm going to follow them and listen to the Charlie Kirk show now, from now on. I feel like a fool. My bad. Please forgive me for thinking that whatever Candace Owens has been saying has been true when it actually is not, if they're actually able to prove that. You see what I'm saying? Perfect opportunity, but they don't do that. They're standing off to the side and saying, well, we're going to do the show without you. Sorry. Shoe fly. What? That's dumb. That's dumb. And the CEO, Erika Kirk, perfect opportunity for her to turn around and say, you idiots, smacking him upside the head. You idiots. No, do the Skype. Just make sure your receipts are solid. That's it, right? Now, Erika Kirk did that piece, right? All right. Erika Kirk said what she said. Right? Basically saying, these people are making a whole bunch of money talking about lies about my husband and all that, right? So Candace Owens went to her Instagram stories, or whatever you want to call it, and she had something to say too. And don't worry, there's more after this, but we got to hear what she got to say. This is insane.
Okay, super fun show today. You're probably seeing the clips, but Erika has gone off on conspiracy theorists. Obviously, every journalist out there is emailing me because it's about me. It's indirect, but it's also about me. And don't worry, in case you think it's not about me, she is going to name check me on stage with Barry Weiss on Saturday. How do we know? Because our mommy sleuths be everywhere. And they recorded the town hall today. And as soon as the town hall concluded, we got a flutter of emails. And what she says about the Egyptian planes, I'm sorry, not going to lie, it's a little suspicious. It's weird. It's a weird response. So look, we got to go there.
So that's Candace Owens. As soon as she saw Erika Kirk go off on her, okay? Now, we got to get straight into it because she did a live, or I think she's still currently live. Maybe she's currently still live. I do not know. Hold on. Dagnabbit. Hold on. One second. Oh boy, this is interesting. So she had some things to say. We're going to take a look at this too.
Regarding these particular individuals and the organization as a whole. And I want you to hear her passion. Take a listen.
Hold on. She just got done. She literally just got done. Okay. She just got done. Woo-hoo! This is just insane. So as I was getting ready, this is the part that I saw. So I'm like, we need to check this out right now. Okay. So please do me a favor. Do me a solid. All right. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. All right. That would be really amazing. Let's not forget to do that. Hit that subscribe button. All right. Can we get it to like 800 likes? You come on now. Hit that like button down below. Let's get it to 800 likes, please, and thank you. All right. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay. Subscribe as well. All right. But my Lord, this is just getting messy, y'all. This is getting absolutely messy.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
I'm sorry, but that whole thing right there is frustrating. And I'm going to explain to you why I just do not accept any of that. First and foremost, the idea that she does not have time. Okay, she definitely has time, okay? She's done Hannity, she's done The Five, she's done Fox and Friends, she's done Outnumbered, she's done Megyn Kelly Live, she sat down with the New York Times. She made time, by the way, in case you don't remember, to fly to DC for Sergio Gore to be sworn into the ambassador to India, as the ambassador to India, which feels kind of obscure and not necessarily related to Turning Point USA affairs, building affairs, or whatever it is. But sure, that's fine. I mean, obviously, you're also allowed to be a person if that's the homie and that's what you want to do, sure. But we are indeed speaking about a coast-to-coast flight to stand up next to somebody and basically say, Charlie loved you. That was like the whatever 15-second speech that she gave, right? Here's actually, we have a clip of that speech that she gave.
Well, he was also very good friends with a guy named Charlie. We just knew him as Charlie. And his wife, who we love so much, is here with us. And maybe, you know how close they were together. Maybe, Erika, you could say a couple of words, please.
I'm honored to, sir. Charlie loved you. It's hard not to get emotional because I know that he would have been the first phone call when he found out that you were going to be taking this position. And the way that I was able to witness the two of you work together for years and to champion and support the president was absolutely humbling to witness. And I am so proud of you. And Charlie is going to be with you every single day in spirit. And I will be praying for you every day because I know that this is just the beginning of an incredible opportunity for you. And sir, thank you for allowing Sergio to have this beautiful moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Charlie.
That's just an ambassador to India swearing in ceremony. Again, if that's your friend and you want to be there, that makes sense. She's also a person, and she can decide what she wants to do there. But the point that I am making is that's a coastal flight that she made to be there to watch a paper get signed. She has also made time for an upcoming CBS News town hall sit down with Barry Weiss, which was filmed today. So Erika Kirk has time. She has time. It is just what she means to say, not her priority.
Oh, this is getting messy. This is getting so freaking this is an absolute mess, y'all. All right, let me just say that really quick. This is an absolute mess, man. This is Yeah, Medusa hamburger. Because here's the thing. Don't worry, we're going to continue. We're going to hear a little bit more of what Candace Owens has to say here. But here's the thing, though. All right, this is absolutely messy. This is not at all what I expected her to react to, or I didn't expect her to react this way. I'm going to be honest. So this is all surprise to me. This is one of the other reasons why I was like, we got to hop on here. We got to talk because this is getting really messy. Okay, you got Erika Kirk talking like this. Okay, let's be real. In that video with Fox, she's like, "That's my man. That's my husband." Okay, you're out here making hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode, talking about my husband and all things revolving around my husband. I'm like, oh my God, this is actually, we are getting here. We've gotten here. Now it's not only Tim Pool getting in his fee-fees, okay, and getting angry, slapping on his table, being like, effing C-word, right? Now we have Erika Kirk using her hands. Like I said, I did not expect this reaction from her. And there's more. I think there's more. Oh, good God, there's more. There's more. I was just hoping that they would just kind of be, I thought she was going to be like, you know what? I see what she's saying. You know, my heart goes out to her, blah, blah, blah. But nope. She's like, you have time. You have ample time, sweetheart, but you're too busy gallivanting with all these political scallywags and peddling books. That's basically what she's saying, y'all. This is not me saying it's her. It's her, not me. Her. Don't at me. It's her that's saying it. Damn. Let's continue. I did not expect this to come out her pie hole, but it's coming out the pie hole.
Which is, you are allowed to prioritize things in your own life. But this is not a matter of time constraint. It is not her priority to respond to the majority, actually. The majority of people think of this as BS. The majority of people think Turning Point is acting suspicious. And she does not feel that it is what she wants to do as a matter of priority, responding. Okay, that's fine. Now, to that point that people are making hundreds and thousands of dollars, I just don't get how there's not someone on this very large PR team, as we're seeing these PR campaigns go out, but doesn't go, hey, maybe we should strike that. They made $40 million like 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that feels kind of a little bit like let them eat cake-ish. Oh, and we've made more than, separately from Mar-a-Lago, Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know, this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night. So since Charlie has died, that organization has taken in $140 million.
Now, we already knew that Candace Owens was going to be pocket watching the TPUSA. Let's be real, okay? We all been known that she was going to be pocket watching them like a mug. I'm not surprised about that. What I'm surprised about is that she knows that $140 million has been raised since the demise of Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm not surprised about that. Like, I'm not surprised about the money side. I thought that they made that amount at the memorial. I thought they made close to well over 100 million off of the memorial service. You know, John Cena, the whole thing, pyrotechnics, right? Trump holding her like they're in a weird embrace, like they're on the cover of some sort of romance novel, but he ain't got no hair. He just got the skloopity-doo, that comb over the skloopity-doo that he has on his head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're thinking it's Fabio, but it's not. It's just a man, old man covered in Dorito dust. But that's another conversation in itself. All right. I thought they raised well over 100,000 when they were doing their memorial service. But apparently, I guess I was wrong. They made over 100. They made 100 million, okay? And then an added 40 million at Mar-a-Lago. Then also, let's not forget, let me remind you, okay? Not everybody likes to read, all right? But people do like books. and they're pushing a book now. They had t-shirts too, where everybody and their mama's rocking the freedom shirt. Don't get me wrong. Hey, it's a nice t-shirt. I can see why people would want to go and buy that t-shirt. Go and buy it if you want to. But there's many people that bought that t-shirt. Let's not forget, if they can't tithe in a way, if they can't contribute by dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars, they can at least contribute by buying a t-shirt for God knows what, $35 or whatever the heck it is, right? And somebody just said, Renee just said, the shirts made 80 million mother loving dollars. What the meow? If that's true, holy God, where's my t-shirt? No, don't wait. No, hold up. I don't need it. I'm good. I like my life. I don't need a t-shirt. I don't. Okay, I don't. But I'm just saying, damn. $80 million for a t-shirt? Like I said, now, and yes, you did. Yes, Cricket, you did hear me out. Okay, now, that's a lot. That's a whole lot of quiche, y'all. That's a lot. And now they're pushing a t-shirt. Now they're pushing a book. Just so you know, now they're pushing a mother-loving book that apparently he was already writing, because he definitely ain't writing this from the grave. But now they got a book. Holy cow. Didn't expect her to pocket watch, but she pocket watching for show. Let's continue. Holy cow. 140 million? Diggity damn.
But gosh darn you people that are making hundreds of dollars every day on YouTube talking about Charlie Kirk's assassination and the BS narrative that is being fed and the very obvious psychological operation that is being employed to make you accept the BS that they are. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually are showing a clip of Rob McCoy defending a pedophile or trying to launder the reputation of, that's fam. That's the CK show fam. Oh, I'm sorry. We are actually pointing to the fact that we know for certain that this person or organization is sexual deviant. That's fam. That is my, don't you get me upset. I know that this is a now $150 million in the last 3-month organization, and we employ tons of people, but you can't critique. You can't critique the fam. And
Hold on. Let me just say this really quick. First off, Messi, I didn't know you ordered two t-shirts and you didn't even get the t-shirts. Damn, that's unfortunate. Have you emailed them? You might want to email them and be like, where can I get my t-shirts? I'm just saying, sometimes those things get, wrapped up, lost in orders and stuff. And you got to remember, millions and millions of people also bought that t-shirt as well. So it might be that, right? I'm trying to give them some grace here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to throw TPUSA under the bus. I think they're human. They make mistakes. They're an organization just like anything else. They make mistakes. They're not perfect. But be sure to email them and ask them about that, Messi, because that's terrible. Okay. But they actually sent a tracking number. Word. Oh, damn. That's not good. Nope. I wrote to them and told them that if I didn't get a refund, I was reporting it as oh snap, 3 months is too long. I agree 110%. Holy cow. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So again, pretty wild stuff, what we're hearing here. Okay. And then of course the allegations about predators, if for lack of a better term, in all that as well within the TPUSA organization. That's not great as well. By the way, that's something that Blake apparently said that they were going to address during their Monday live stream. Okay. Which, by the way, I will be watching that live stream because I want to hear what they got to say. And I don't know, I might do it as a watch party with you guys or something like that, because I definitely want to see what TPUSA has to say about all of this stuff. Okay. Because again, you can't just say no Candace, but then do the live anyway. We got to see what's being said. Okay. I want to see how they bury the hatchet as well, right? What's their way of burying the hatchet? And is what they're going to present going to be backed with receipts, right? So I think those are things that I'm sure we're all wanting to know about. Okay. But let us continue on. I might skip ahead a tiny bit because of course, I want to get to the meat and potatoes. Okay. But again, her reaction so far is shocking to say the least, because I thought that maybe they'd come together as family. We used to love each other, man. We used to be friends, man. Erika, we used to be friends, man. Let's be friends again. Nope, that's not happening right now. That is not happening at all.
Hate to say this, but I'm going to be very clear here. This is why there are many people who do not believe that women are equipped to lead companies, because what you are watching here is an unbelievably emotional response that is absent of any logic. God. Okay. If you really care about your team, answer the questions. Okay. Just demystify the entire event. Answer, come out, sit down, answer the questions so people don't think Turning Point USA looks so suspicious. Don't try to mom the organization and say, well, mother's upset because people are coming after her kids and all of this multi-million-dollar subsidiaries. That's my children. Okay. The multi-million-dollar subsidiaries, Turning Point, like Turning Point Action, all that, those are my kids. So you can't critique them. Not a good idea. Okay. It may work in PR world. You guys, I know how it's an obvious PR campaign. It's never been more obvious of a psychological operation. I actually wish they would put me on payroll so I could help them make these things look more organic than having every single person that has been telling us to stop asking questions all make the exact same video within 4 seconds of each other, being like, whoa, Erika Kirk shuts down no, she didn't even respond to one of the conspiracies. She gave us emotion. She said, I'm a mother, I am a wife, and we never asked about whether she was mother or wife. We want to know if she is a CEO and a chairman. And a CEO and a chairman has to compartmentalize. A CEO and a chairman cannot respond to valid questions and critiques about finances, about shady actions that are being taken by people that require presidential pardons, people that are meaningfully asking why we are not getting a clear answer of what took place on September 10th. A CEO, okay, does not get to respond and say, that's my family.
Hold on. Whoa, this is getting wow. Okay. What in the hell? Oh my God. What the hell? Whoa. Okay. First off, I see what she's trying to say here. I get it. But at the same time, I can see both sides. Okay, so when the reporter is asking her the question, she's asking the question as if she is just Charlie Kirk's wife. This is Charlie Kirk's widow, right? So she's wearing the hat of CEO, sure, but she's also wearing the hat of the wife. Why can't she answer the question as the wife? I'm just saying, I'm just asking a question, okay? I know some of y'all gonna be like, boo, tomatoes. But at the same time, think about this. Can't she answer the question as a wife? Why can't I have one thing? Why can't I have one thing? I feel like so far that we've seen from her, in a way, hasn't Erika Kirk been answering a lot of things? Well, actually, I take that back. She has been wearing the widow hat for a while, okay? But she's still in mourning. The man still just lost his life a few months ago. Not even several months ago, a few months ago. So again, there's a part of me that's like, yes, I get her wearing the CEO hat and, compartmentalizing, being a little bit more diplomatic about certain things. But at the same time, this is the first time I've, at least in my opinion, have seen her angry, right? Everything else has been either sad or, thinking of him, weeping, that kind of thing. But Candace Owens has her opinions, right? And I know a lot of you guys agree with what she's saying here. She's just coming in with the heat. She does not care. And so I'm going to let her cook.
Okay. That's the energy of what I would expect from a mother speaking to a teacher, which I was this mom. Like, that's my kid. Okay. And I'll shut this down right now. That's my child. This is not a child. Turning Point USA is an organization. And Erika already had an uphill battle to climb, like that she had to climb this because, by the way, just because if this was Goldman Sachs and the president of Goldman Sachs or managing director over at Goldman Sachs died in a horrifically violent way, the Goldman Sachs family might mourn for a couple of months, but they would have instantly had someone to replace that individual. And beyond that, they would have never accepted the public and the people that are investing money. They would have never accepted, well, he's gone, but here's his wife. She already had a hill to climb here, right? Like, this does not make you qualified because you love someone to take on their job. I am not qualified to do what my husband does. That's why I said I wouldn't want to be the CEO and the chairman of a company. Actually, there's a great clip of Jordan Peterson asking that very question. Like, why do women want to be? Like, why would you want to have? It's actually a lot of work and it's very stressful and it's a lot of numbers and you're crunching numbers and you have to be everywhere. Okay. If you want that, great. If you built the company and you're in the room like Charlie Kirk did, and you have proven to the public, like, hey, I built this company. I didn't even go to college and I've been doing this for over a decade as Charlie Kirk did. You've earned that street cred. Okay. So she already had a hill to climb because now they're saying, well, this is his wife. And so, that's it.
Now, let me just say something really quick. What she just said, she has 110% a good point right there. I'm going to say it too. It seems a little bit weird that Erika Kirk, a company that he has been cultivating for years, and I don't know like how soon she, met him after he started the company and all that stuff. But you got someone who I'm sure doesn't know all the ropes of this company suddenly becoming CEO of the actual company. That is a little odd. I can see that for sure. Without question, no question whatsoever. Very strange. That is strange. All right. Given the fact that it's like, did she know everything? Did she know everything before she got transferred into this particular position? And wasn't there, or why wasn't there any pushback about her taking over the job, taking over the position of CEO? I would feel like any other person in that room would feel very much like that would make me feel some type of way if I was part of TPUSA and I was up on the higher ranks and I'm thinking that I'm the CEO, COO or something of that sort, the CFO or whatever the titles that they have in that company. I would think that I'd be stepping up right to the next to run the company because I would feel like I'm the best and most properly vetted for the job. But then next thing you know, boom, she gets brought in. That would shock the hell out of me too, right? But again, she is his wife. And you got to remember, she's got the Kirk name. Remember that, y'all. She has the Kirk name. And it's not like she hasn't had, other businesses and stuff like that. She's a businesswoman. She ain't dumb. So I can see that other side too, but I can see how people within TPUSA would feel some type of way about suddenly, wait, what? So now she running everything. Oh, okay. All right then. And I feel like it is just to keep the Kirk name prominent. And also, let's not forget, sorry for saying this. I know some of you guys are going to feel some type of way, but we're already an hour and 15 minutes into this mug. Okay. But we're going to talk about it. Let's not forget. She has a brand. It's the Kirk name. She is Charlie Kirk's wife. She just lost her husband. She is now a widow. So there's now the heartstrings that they can use as marketing. They can pluck at everybody, right? At everybody's heartstrings. See, this is the widow. She is now taken over as the CEO. You must support her because she is the widow. She is the mourning widow of Charlie Kirk. By the way, buy this T-shirt. By the way, keep donating because we need the help. His family needs your help. Charlie Kirk's family is without Charlie Kirk now. Oh, by the way, here's the book. By the way, let's not forget that too. You see what I'm saying? So I get it. It's a marketing strategy, guys. It's all marketing, baby. So again, I see why, but I see her point too. I definitely do. Let's continue. She's still got more.
Well, now you're gonna have to prove that you have the ability to be a CEO and a chairman, and not just a wife who we expect emotion from. And you're rightful in that capacity. You are rightful to have emotion. You are rightful to be the aggrieved widow. But you don't get to just be widowed into the position of chairman and CEO. You don't get to respond to, well, in this case, investors, donors who have given money and are asking meaningful questions with no, you don't get replies right now because this is the Charlie Kirk show, fam. Doesn't work this way, okay? And the broader point removed from Erika, which a lot of these mockingbird influencers seem to be making, is essentially they're saying to us that scientific inquiry and investigation in and of itself is now patently wrong, right? Essentially, we should just trust the state. Don't believe your own instincts. Don't believe your own eyes. Don't ask any questions. And I really want to stress to you guys how utterly ridiculous that logic is, right? Because if we follow that logic in any other situation, there would never be a crime solved ever, okay? If we just ascribe to the idea that scientific investigation is on its face wrong, it would not work. I'll give you a crappy analogy here, but imagine if there's like some young mother and she dies suddenly in the middle of the night, presumably in the middle of the night, and her husband is the first one to report it in the morning, and the cops show up who happen to be his buddies. They get there, and then they dramatically close the case in 48 hours, and neighbors are like, wait a minute. Excuse me, officers. Actually, you might want to know some other facts here about this guy. Like, he's in the mafia. These people would be like, how dare you question the people closest to, he loved her. That's his wife. Being a gang member is not evidence. Why are you saying he's a gang member? It's not evidence. You get another nosy neighbor who produces evidence that in the middle of the night before she died, they saw the guy outside, the husband outside removing cameras in the front yard. That's not evidence. Yeah, but I saw him go out in the middle. He put something in his car in the trunk. He was looking shady. That's not evidence. How dare you find that to be suspicious? More nosy neighbors start discussing, and they were like, hey, we heard them. They were having actually a heated argument before she was found dead. I think it was about money. All of a sudden, the next thing you know, you got Allie Stuckey from the HOA. She blasts out an email and she says, it's unbiblical. It's unbiblical to gossip. Hearing an argument is not hard evidence. You have no right to discuss it. Yeah, we're the nosy neighbors, okay? We put together a list of 20 verifiable lies that have been told in the weeks following this sudden death event. And we have some questions. So we're not going to accept Tim Pool jumping on the airwaves with big estrogen energy telling us we're evil because we have like school board elections next Thursday. We're the nosy neighbors. We don't care about the elections coming up. We want to know whether or not we are in bed with people who are capable of murder, people that are capable of covering up murders. Actually, we, the nosy neighbors, feel a little bit less safe in this neighborhood until we know whether or not there are some psychopathic killers in our midst. How about that?
Wow. Oh, my God. I have to hit the button. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I know that's a terrible freeze frame, but oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Wow. And this is to Erika Kirk, guys. Remember, this is a reaction to Erika Kirk. She said big estrogen energy. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm dead. Oh my God. She said big estrogen energy. We have got to show that video, her reaction to Tim Pool's like meltdown, okay? Which was insane. But Wow. Okay, I'm going to play a tiny bit more. There's so much more we need to look into or talk about. This is still on this whole thing. We're not going anywhere about this, but there's so much more going on. But I'm going to play a little bit more, okay? Because this is insane. Like this is insane. My God.
That's how I feel. I think that's how a lot of people feel right now. So I want to express that. And the psychological campaign filled with emotional manipulation and how dare you, and the aggrieved widow speaks, and so you're not allowed to question a $150 million organization. No, I reject it. I reject that 100%.
Yeah, you really can't look away. I mean, Alabama, sweet home Alabama. Yeah, you can't really look away. This is this is a dumpster fire that is literally using it's multicolored flames coming out of this dumpster fire. You understand that, right? It's multicolorful. All right. This is so bad. But okay. But this is all about. This is a reaction to Erika Kirk. I'm sorry. I just expected a little bit different. Okay. But I knew a little bit of the beginning. Because I saw the very beginning of her reaction. I didn't know all of this was going to come out. Okay. Now I'm like, I can't stop. I was like, I'm only going to play about 5 minutes of this. And it's like 20 minutes later. I'm like, damn, we still got more. She's still going. Diggity damn. And I thought this was going to be about Erika Kirk. Sorry. I thought it was going to be more about trying to find a way to, calm the seas a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And nope, it is not.
Which is why I will say it has arrived as a blast of fresh air that on this very same day, Tucker Carlson is standing up to the nonsense. He's not speaking about Erika, obviously. He is friends with Erika. But just the nonsense of what the FBI is saying, he's wading in and saying, yeah, the FBI is not being clear in what happened. And I have questions because, and I think it feels like a blast of fresh air, because and I know many people at home, are seeing all of these people that we followed and we thought that they were heroes. And suddenly this assassination has exposed them all to be frauds. For the right price, they will join Operation Mockingbird. For me personally, that is how I feel. Okay. Like people in the military that I thought were forthright, people that were journalists that I thought were forthright. I just am so let down. And I don't think I would have been able to handle if Tucker Carlson was among those people. You need hard evidence. As if the killer's going to walk in and be like, okay, here's how I did it. Okay. I'm going to give you the hard evidence. I was here, there. Like, what? Instead, Tucker Carlson is coming out and he is blasting the corporate and the Fed narrative with common sense. He joined Theo Vaughn, and here is what he had to say. Take a listen.
I don't understand
We've already heard this. I'm going to skip ahead.
This is not okay. The vibe is not right. Is making a mockery of it. That is what we mean when we say none of this is passing the vibe check with Turning Point USA. There's no clear answers. There's mockery, there's laughter, but there's no clear answers. And the mockery and the laughter is not working. Neither is this idea that, well, now the widow has spoken. We're not dealing with the widow. We want the CEO and the chairman of Turning Point USA to answer. Okay? If you can't compartmentalize, then I don't see how you're going to be able to lead this organization in the future, because Charlie worked. We knew who Charlie was because he was authentic. Okay. He didn't just go, well, I only make time for like big pocket donors. Okay. He was sitting college campuses. He was speaking to people, understanding people. He was changing his ideas and he was changing minds. And you are not changing my mind about the fact that something weird happened that day and that TPUSA is acting funny because you give it an impassioned plea and speak about Nehemiah on Fox News. Okay. None of it makes any sense. Anyways, Tucker then goes on and states the obvious predicament further, which is that we just don't have any faith in the government. Take a listen to him discussing some of these lingering questions.
I'm skipping ahead.
It's like when he became a rat. So
if we're just not getting out of the garden with trying to emotionally manipulate us and say it's not, this feels like COVID, right? It's not like COVID-19. It's like Candace 19. It's another fake, it's a fake virus. Like, oh, you got infected. You just can't do it. 6 feet social distancing from Candace Owens. We're going to get every influencer on social media. 6 feet social distancing. Save lives. What are you, a grandma killer? What, you just don't like him? What? And then Tim's all fired up. She's a C-word. People are going to die if you don't get this vaccine. And I'm like, I feel like maybe the government's not telling us the truth. We're right back to that, but it's Candace 19. It's Candace 19. That's what it is. And they think that it maybe if they put the little 6 feet social distancing pads in the grocery store, that the PSYOP will win and make us believe that this is like common sense is the virus. I'm the common sense virus. It's coming around. It's so evil. Stay at home, wear a mask, save lives. You don't want to catch it. You don't want to catch the common sense, you guys. You don't want to catch it.
I'm done. Okay. So of course that was a good portion of the show. That was a big ass portion of the show. Okay. Now here's the thing. This is just ridiculous. All right. Of course, there is a lot going on. All right. This is just nuts. Let me just say this really quick. Okay. I am just very. I see Candace Owens' points. Okay. Let me just say that. I see her point. Okay. I see a bunch of her points. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh yeah, you know what she's saying, you know, she's completely off her rocker and she's completely off. No, I agree, kind of in the same vein as Tucker Carlson. I think that there are some things that she is probably on the nose on. Maybe she's not entirely zeroed in perfectly, but she's in the area, right? She is circling something and she's about to get it. What that is, I don't know, right? But I also think that she is also throwing just heaps of stuff, okay? Just throwing heaps of stuff on the wall. I mean, let's be real. There's other pieces where she is saying that military was involved. I mean, just absolutely nuck and fut stuff, okay? Which, again, I'm kind of curious about this as well, if this is actually 110% true. But she's also saying out here that the military may have been involved in the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. Okay. Let me show you what I mean. Hold on. There's a couple things I need to show you. So first off, let me show you this. So she went to her social media, her Instagram stories. All right. And she said, yesterday was the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. In Catholic world, that's a day of holy obligation. So as soon as my podcast ended, I raced over to church for mass. Let's continue. She continues on in saying, I distinctly prayed for a final peace. I prayed for God to give me a piece to Charlie Kirk's mystery that would be a nail in the coffin and expose the cover-up. Moving on, I went home, had a late dinner, went up to lay in my daughter's, I guess in my daughter's room for 15 minutes before going down to mine and thought, I'll just check my tips inbox. So her email, right? It was the first email I opened. I genuinely cannot see this as anything other than an immediate answered prayer. Immediately answered prayer. A story from a man in the military that is about to blow the case open. And then next, it feels like today will be the day that the government can no longer deny it. Charlie Kirk lost his life and our military was involved. I cannot wait to share this information with you guys today, right? So she goes on to her show and she says this, which is crazy.
A day in which you are required to attend mass outside of obviously typically Sundays. And so as soon as we concluded this podcast, grabbed my jacket and I ran out the door. Okay. And as I was sitting through mass, deciding,
I'm going to speed this up a little bit.
What was on my mind to pray about, for whatever reason, got on my knees and I was not expecting this to come out, but I just focused my prayer on wanting something to be delivered to me, a piece of evidence that would help us put together the full picture of this assassination. Obviously, we all know that what we are being told is not true. We all know that nothing that we have been presented with makes any practical sense. But there are sort of smoking guns in this that are missing, right? It's one thing to point out all the lies, but we need to also have solid, concrete proof of something that took place that was out of the ordinary in the days leading up, maybe, I don't know, a planning session. Well, I got back home after this very intentional prayer and did my routine, had a very late dinner, went up and said goodnight to the kids, got myself ready for bed, sat in bed, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to open the tips box. And I kid you not when I say that it was the very first email that I saw, the very first email that I opened up. And it really didn't have any details. It was a young woman, and she said, "You really should call my friend. It is absolutely urgent, and he has information that you need to hear." And don't tell me why. I don't know what came over me, but maybe it was this intentional prayer. I said, I'm just going to call him right now. 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes after this email hit my inbox, I was calling this person and I had no idea what it was going to lead to, whether it was going to be a totally insane person or whether or not it was going to be a very swiftly answered prayer. The person that I spoke with, his name is or was Harry, and he told me a story which I have since fact checked various elements, the elements that I could fact check, and it's legit. This is a legit story that I'm about to share with you. And I want to say before I relay it that the descriptions of the people are based off of his own memory, but the facts pertaining to where he was, whether he was where he says he was, for the reasons that he says that he was there, he is being honest. Okay. I can tell you that he's being 100% honest, and you're free to look further into this. I am certain he is going to probably be doing a lot of interviews in the near future.
Now, first off, let me just say this really quick. Okay. First off, how do you what is the vetting process? Okay. What is the vetting process? What is the vetting process for her? What is wild to me is that she goes, yeah, I went and I prayed. I said, God, please send me a sign, right? To put in the final nail in the coffin of this situation and expose all of their asses. She goes home, and just out of clear blue heaven, God sends an email, or God sends somebody to send her an email, say, yeah, I know a man. His name is Harry. You need to call Harry. And then she goes and she calls Harry, and she's like, yep, this is legit. This is legit. This is absolutely legit. Just so you know, this is absolutely legit. How do you know this is absolutely legit? How did you fact check, right? How did you fact check? You see what I'm saying? How did you fact check for sure that this particular person is legit? See, this is the problem I have with Candy O. This is one of the main problems. Okay? That I'm just sitting here saying, you heard me just a second ago saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with her asking a whole bunch of questions, right? There's nothing wrong with her asking a whole bunch of questions. No problem with that at all. But when she says, I got evidence, it's facts, it's facts, it's facts, it's facts, it's totally, I cross-referenced for sure. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Where's the facts? Where's the information? I'm just saying, I want to know her vetting process. And I'm not sitting here, challenging her faith. Hold up now. Okay. I'm not trying to, challenge her faith, but I'm just saying, it's just interesting that she goes on her Instagram. She says those things, right? Like I said, I'm always going to side-eye everything within this whole thing. I'm side-eyeing TPUSA. I'm side-eyeing Candace Owens. I'm looking at it all in an open-minded way, but also in a side-eyeing kind of way, because it makes you wonder how properly vetted are the people that she is saying that she's getting all this information from. So you mean to tell me people from the French government who said, oh, they're, le fromage baguette, les enfants, poisson, they're trying to take you out, Candice, right? The France, they're trying to take you out, right? So you got that. He's properly vetted. Now you got a good old-fashioned, good old boy named Harry, ma'am. The American government was involved in this situation, ma'am. Just so you know. Yep. Just saying. You know, how are you literally vetting all of these people? How are you doing it? Okay, I know that Harry's not his real name, okay? But she said his name is Harry, so we're using his name as Harry, okay? Ma'am, the American military was involved. Yep, indeed, ma'am. Just saying, I got questiones. I got some questiones. Let's continue, though. How did she? Because she needs to tell us how she does it. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? At least for me, I want to see how she does it. How do you properly vet these people? Okay? From the French all the way to America. American military, ma'am. Nothing but apple pie and bubble gum, ma'am. My name's Harry. I'm the insider for the American military. Yep. They're involved in Charlie Kirk's demise. I was American as apple pie and American cheese, ma'am. Yes, sir. So this is weird, but let's continue.
I can also factually state that there was an incident report. So this was recorded, and what transpired on September 8th that caught him by surprise was something that he thought was a part of a broader military conspiracy against him. He could not fully comprehend why what was happening. Okay, so let's start actually 35 years ago, because you need to know who this man is. In 1990, this young man named Harry Myers discovered something that would shape the next 3 decades of his life. Okay, he was at the bottom of the military chain. He was just 20 years old, and he was put on what was actually a brand new command, the first ever Joint Task Force 6. And this new command was being created down at the border by President George H.W. Bush. And it was presented to the American public as, look, a war on drugs with the help of Colin Powell. And it should be noted that this took place, just to kind of get you back into what was going on at the beginning of the 1990s, this took place just after the Iran-Contra affair, right? The Iran-Contra affair was from, I think, 1981 to 1986, happened under Reagan. And for those of you who are not read into massive CIA scandals, this was the scandal when the American public got to learn that our CIA was actually trafficking drugs and weapons throughout South America. A scandal which, if you guys have followed our Epstein series, we now know that he was also involved in the Iran-Contra scandal. It essentially shook the foundation of Reagan's White House. And during that time, during Reagan's tenure, George H.W. Bush was the vice president, okay, throughout the scandal. So when George H.W. Bush then decided that he was going to run as a president of the United States, and he did run, and he ran in 1988, just a couple of years following that affair, he had to really hit hard on drugs at the border, and declare that this White House was going to do all that it could to stop these drugs from flooding into America. Take a listen to him saying what they were going to be cracking down on.
This is crack cocaine, seized a few days ago by drug enforcement agents in a park just across the street from the White House. It could easily have been heroin or PCP. It's as innocent looking as candy, but it's turning our cities into battle zones, and it's murdering our children. Let there be no mistake. This stuff is poison.
So you hear the directive from the then president, H.W. Now, our protagonist in the story is Harry, right? He's 20 years old, and he's at the bottom of the military totem pole, and he gets attached to this new command, this new Southern Command. Previously, there had never been that joint task force, and specifically, he was a part of an operation that came to be known as Operation Catacomb. He describes himself, and I'm going to put this in quotations, as a lowly military censor guy assigned to this Joint Task Operation 6, and they were to cover half of Arizona and Mexico. And I'm going to read this next portion of his story directly from him, okay? And I quote, "In just 6 days, I planted sensors, translated data, and skipped the chain of command and gave proof of the existence and pinpointed the location of the first ever discovered Sinaloa cartel underground rail tunnel. By passing directly through to lower Border Patrol agents, I skipped command, and directly a Border Patrol agent was able to skip his command and directly sought a warrant to raid the tunnel which avoided tipping off any compromised commanders that were working with the cartel. Thus, why it resulted in such a big bust. Most importantly, it did not give time to remove photos that were on the walls on the Mexican side, where our Joint Task Commander, who was a high-ranking Border Patrol, was actually in the photos in that house, posing with El Chapo and Felipe, his architect. And there were other U.S. Marine officers and Mexican law enforcement officers and military that were in those photos, okay, end quote. So just to be clear, he discovers this tunnel, somehow skips the chain of command. Now they find this massive tunnel and, oh, wait, why are military commanders and high-up people in the military in pictures with El Chapo? What's going on here? I'm going to pause here to let you see an old news clip regarding this explosive discovery that Harry made.
The tunnel was called one of the most sophisticated drug smuggling schemes authorities have ever seen. Using jackhammers and torches, federal agents broke into the concrete reinforced tunnel at a warehouse in Douglas, Arizona. 30 feet underground, agents walked for 100 yards through the 5-foot-high tunnel. It took them under the Mexican border to a house in Agua Prieta. There, they found an air compressor, a sump pump, a small trolley car, and a hydraulic jack. It was used to lift up the floor inside the living room of the house, where the smugglers would start their illegal trip to the U.S.
I mean, if you ain't seen Snowfall, they covered all this in Snowfall. Okay, like, you know, this is all old news to me. But I seen this in the show Snowfall, which, by the way, is a fantastic show. Okay, but yeah, this ain't old.
Authorities said when
this ain't new. I'm sorry.
Tunnel wasn't being used for drug running, the smugglers would flood it with water.
Let's say we came over here with some technology trying to detect this. It would look like an underground stream if it was flooded.
Federal agents said the tunnel cost at least $1 million to build and had probably been in operation for 6 months to a year. Last November, Customs received a tip that a sophisticated tunnel was being used to funnel cocaine into the United States.
This type of tunnel is not an amateur operation. It's a highly sophisticated engineering feat that took place.
Mexican authorities were also involved in the investigation and the raid. Earlier this month, police seized 2,000 pounds of cocaine, which they said came into the U.S. through the tunnel. The drugs were headed for Southern California.
And what's not said in that news clip is there were pictures of United States military men in that house. What happens next is predictable given what we now know. Harry's superiors take the credit for the bust, and he's going to continue what happens. I'm going to, again, quote him verbatim. Quote, on the surface, I was given a small reward, an Army medal. I have the write-ups for those awards mentioning me and my critical role in this mission success. That said, U.S. Border Patrol members who recognized me as being the agent responsible for the bust did not like seeing that I wasn't being appreciated more and resented my higher-ups for taking the credit for the discovery. Somehow, in the immediate days after the bust, prior to the United States side getting the photos from the Mexican authorities, my information was given to the cartels. In continuing the mission, me and one Border Patrol agent were sent to Naco, Arizona, where I was approached by a cartel member confirming my identification by rattling off my mother's name, address, my high school, my friends, everything listed in my clearance packet, which was supposed to be locked in the custody of the Joint Task Force 6 commander, whose picture was with El Chapo and about to be discovered. We avoided being taken hostage or shot, sneaking away and driving out of that little town. I was taken back to Fort Huachuca with the U.S. Border Patrol agent I was with, believing, since I was just a young 20-year-old, that I must have somehow compromised my own ID. The next day, I had a debrief with the Army Criminal Investigation Division and a prosecutor from Tucson, Arizona, informing me of how my ID became compromised. I was told that I was then going to be put in witness protection. My orders restricted me from any further work in counter narcotics, from being stationed on or south of the border, and it prevented me from working with Border Patrol. It was a Band-Aid while they prepared and got approval for me to be put into witness protection. Also, to protect me, the mission and the prosecutions, I was also put under an NDA gag order, which was dated out, okay, look, it says 1990, to May of 2025 to prevent me from mentioning this entire ordeal. The witness protection entrance never happened. The ball got dropped. I never got contacted for it. From what we uncovered, a deal was made with the compromised U.S. Border Patrol agent commander. Okay, so let's pause and just recap there very quickly. And I'm going to tell you what this has to do with Charlie Kirk, okay? So I guess in a sentence, a young military man did his job excellently. He accidentally stumbled upon, or actually, accidentally stumbled upon the fact that our government was implicated, not in fighting the cartels, but working with the cartels. And suddenly he realizes after some time that the government then beats him, or somebody spitefully, perhaps his commander, fed him to the cartels. And now he's on the run for his life. What happens over the course of the next 35 years is he's hacked. He says that he goes through abusive litigation. He is harassed. He says there are narco attorneys that attack his credit. He has police records, by the way, for all of this. He has presented evidence for this. But throughout a certain point in time, these police records were virtually disappeared. He had been reporting that hitmen were coming after him. He had names. This is a 35 years long ordeal. He now has all of his paperwork thanks to some county clerks who did the right thing and were able to dig up these records. But you name it, this man has lived it throughout the last 35 years. Okay. Fast forward to May of 2025, May of this year. And Harry Myers, who now has a new name, by the way, which I'm not saying, but he is finally released from this 35-year military grade NDA. So what does this now 56-year-old decide to do? He decides that he's going to confront his past. He wants answers, okay? He wants to know why he was never protected. He wants to know if the FBI had been informed, and if so, which they were supposed to be, why they didn't do their job. Why didn't they protect Harry? He was working for the military and he did his job. He makes up his mind that he's going to deal with this in person. He is going to travel from his home in Washington back down to the very base where this all began, right? To Fort Huachuca, in Arizona. He's going to revisit the past. He's going to get these answers. He books himself to stay in a hotel on the base, a military hotel known as Candlewood Suites. And this is on the evening of September 8th. I want you to remember that, okay? He has been so thorough. He has sent me timestamps, bookings, reservations, went through his call logs. I was like, I want you to pinpoint when everything happened. So he gets to the Candlewood Suites at approximately on September 8th, 5:37 p.m., checks into the hotel. And you can imagine he's a person that pays a lot of attention to his surroundings, right? When the cartels are after you and your family and you are compelled to change your name, you pay attention to your surroundings. See anything shady. What he notices is somebody who is special forces in the lobby. He said, you just know when you're dealing with a special forces guy. And he is in the lobby, and a young woman comes down thereafter. That young woman, who at the time he did not recognize, is with him. They kind of fluff around in the lobby while he's checking in. He's on the phone with his wife. And thereafter, the two of them get into a green pickup truck. And they drive off.
Okay.
The next morning, now we're September 9th, he wakes up at around 5:30 a.m. in the morning because he wants to see the sunrise. He says that he then fails at finding the Army Criminal Investigations Department. So he drives off base, just a little ways off base, to get some coffee in Sierra Vista. While getting that coffee, he runs into some soldiers. Again, this is just all God at this point, who happen to be wearing 10th Mountain Division patches. And he's like, that's my old unit. What's going on here? Like that, he thinks his unit's gone. Nothing's going on with this unit for a long time. But it's been torn apart. Or I don't know what the military expression is for that. He strikes up a conversation with these young guys, and they tell him, "Oh no. The old Joint Task Force 6 is now being continued, and it's known as JTF, Joint Task Force Southern Border." Now, for those of you who are like me who don't know, like literally what it sounds like, Joint Task Force, meaning like you can get the Army, Navy, everybody kind of working together on something. And they're like, yeah, it's now JTF Southern Border. And they give him directions of how he can actually get to the new command center. They tell them that they're actually currently borrowing a building down there. And he tells me that there would have been no other way he would have discovered where it was. So his intention was to go to Army CID. Now he's like, wow, I can go directly to the actual JTF 6, which is now being continued, and get some answers. What luck. It is now around 7:37 a.m. when he enters the new or temporary JTF headquarters. And he sees two guys, and he's pretty impressed. He's like, whoa, these are, again, military term, E4, E5s. He told me that means that they're lieutenant colonels, and they are the ones that are checking him in. He happens to walk in at the exact time that they are concluding a meeting. And he is kind of even more impressed because he sees about 12 lieutenant colonels. He tells me, you do not see that many people, that many E4s, E5s, E6s. Please, military guys, forgive me for me not knowing what the proper vernacular. But he just goes, what's going on? He's like, you don't see this unless you're at the Pentagon or you're at the White House. You just don't see this many high up the food chain lieutenant colonels. She's going, man, this is a pretty important meeting. And then he sees three men walk out, one of which is the person he identifies as the person that's the center of the action, right? He said you could just tell this is the most important person. And he has gray hair. He's got glasses. I believe he said that he's about 5'10". And at this point, he sees that the person that is with him, and he said, certain that the person that is with him is Brian Harpole. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's about to get even more interesting.
Oh.
So, and again, I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there, but I have spoken to this guy and I very much trust what he is saying. I think he is very credible. Okay. So he sees Brian Harpole come out, this older guy, and he has, what then happens is first the guys that are checking him in are friendly. He explains to them, yeah, you know, this is what happened to me. I just want to speak to somebody. They're like, yeah, let me help you. Then all of a sudden after Brian, who he believes to be Brian Harpole, who he's not obviously recognized at that time, he would not have known that was Brian Harpole, but he remembers him obviously because then the biggest political assassination since JFK happens. Suddenly somebody hits the panic button and two captains come out. And they escort him out of the building, and they begin what becomes a 7-hour interrogation. Okay, they think he's a spy. How did you rumble this meeting? How did you know this meeting was taking place? He's being asked a bunch of questions. They're putting pressure on him. They're gaslighting him. I actually want to, if you give me a second, I want to read exactly what he messaged me about what took place. Just it's incredible. It's actually just incredible how he describes what their strategy here of attempting to gaslight him into believing that he was a spy or that he was working angle and accusation of me being a threat to others or myself. When all of that fell flat, they then conferenced with base commander. After I assumed they verified that I was not there to spy on that particular meeting, they decided it was okay to send me off post. That's when I drove to Tucson. I got a room. The next morning, I turned in my rental car. I got on a plane back home, and I had to stop in Salt Lake. Upon landing and turning on the phone, my wife is telling me about Charlie Kirk. And again, this was just a coincidence. I happened to be in the airport at the time that you are talking about all of those strange flights that were taking place there. I did not notice anything helpful other than the fact that the airport was not very crowded. So after 7 hours, he explains to me that they were going to debated holding him for 48 hours for this perceived, perhaps maybe bomb threat spy thing that's happening. And he's thinking, can you imagine this? They're paranoid, but he's paranoid and thinking, oh my gosh, this is more like Sinaloa cartel stuff. And I'm being treated like this because I've wanted to speak out about this story for 35 years. Both of them are wrong. Okay. Both of them are wrong. This really is just a coincidence. And adding to this coincidence is the fact and that he got the commander's name that obviously that questioned him for this long. He says this was the guy that was in charge, the commander. And he said he was approximately 36 years old. He had brown hair, the one I'm talking about that was leading the charge on asking him all the questions and interrogating him, and that his name was Captain Neff. I'm going.
Huh? Wait.
Now, I have the same question that you have because I've looked and it does seem that
that is crazy. Oh my God. I mean, there's a possibility of somebody having the same last name. I mean, that's possible. I mean, you got to remember this. Come on. Okay. Let's play a little bit more because she's already said a lot. Okay.
And I never even questioned this, whether or not it's potential that Blake Neff has military connections as well. Like, I guess that kind of like, I just thought this is a producer of Charlie Kirk show, but it is interesting that somebody, and this would be a brother, cousin, I don't know. This is the person that interrogated him. And eventually he says was the person that had a heart and realized that he was not a part of any spy network and eventually escorted him off of the base and onto his way. That's a lot of coincidence for me. Now he says to me, communicated this to me very clearly. He said, Candace, I know how these meetings work. These are the meetings that are had ahead of an operation. Like when an operation is being confirmed, you have these final meetings and they involve all of the higher ups, and you are trying to do this in a very isolated location where, you know, people are not going to accidentally happen upon you because they've got something to say about what happened 35 years ago. And that is what he happened upon. And I don't know what to make of this information other than he feels that he then recognized these people. He feels certain that he recognized these people in the days following Charlie Kirk's assassination, when a bunch of people are doing Fox News. And obviously then we've got a massive event at a stadium and everybody is in front of the camera eulogizing him. He feels confident that he recognizes these people and that needs to be shared.
Okay. I think that's enough. We've played a good portion of this. Let me just say this. Wow. 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 So the thing is, okay, first off, she gave us the backstory, all right, of this guy. He obviously was, sorry, excuse me, guys, was heavily involved in military, police activity, all that stuff. 30 some odd years ago. So he gave her proof of that. Then we skip ahead. Let's skip ahead, okay, and get straight to the meat and potatoes. So around the 8th or 9th of September, day or two before Charlie Kirk lost his life, he saw people that were in the same unit that he was in, okay? And they freaked out. They got very concerned. And, of course, they started to interrogate him, right? Asking him why he's there in the first place, blah, blah, blah. One of the people that was there was the head of security. This is what she's saying. He saw the head of security for Charlie Kirk there. I forgot his name, but you know who I'm talking about. She showed a screenshot of the guy, right? A photo of the guy. Then another person that was involved was also a guy that went by last name Neff. I forgot what ranking. I don't know if she said Captain is Neff or something like that, which, by the way, Blake Neff is the guy, the bald guy who's sitting there going like, we are going to have this whole conversation and we're going to debunk everything, all the rumors and all that stuff. We're going to address all that crap. And Candace Owens is more than welcome to be there, right? Captain Neff. That's what she just said. Now she's like, it just seems too strange that these, it seems too strange of a coincidence, too much of a coincidence for his last name to be Neff. And Blake Neff is also a producer of the Charlie Kirk show, TPUSA's, organization and all that stuff, right? Okay, first off, I appreciate her giving us the background story, giving us proof positive that this guy was involved in a huge drug bust and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate her doing that, saying that she's got receipts and this is how she was able to properly vet this guy. But at the same time, she just said, ay. So now she's saying military could have well been involved in the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. So then who is it? Is it all them working in tandem together? Is it the French, America, and Israel coming together and blasting Charlie Kirk? I'm confused, man. I need answers. Because right now, at first it was like, I need to address this. So if I'm found gone, I didn't do it to myself, right? She'll say all that stuff. The French were planning on taking me out. Then it's Israel and France trying to take me out and Charlie Kirk. Then it's TPUSA had something to do with his demise as well. They may not have been the one that pulled the trigger, but they have something to do with it as well. Now you got, America's military has something to do with this as well. I confuse, cabron. I confuse. I'm very confused. What is it? What is it? Now it's American military involved in taking out Charlie Kirk. Now, here's the thing. Some of y'all are going to look at the situation and go, yeah, she done lost her mother-loving marbles. And some of y'all are going to be like, I believe everything that she's saying. She is on to something, man. She is on to something, man. Well, I'll tell you what. One thing is for sure. I was very, very surprised her reaction on Erika Kirk. And some people will look at that in two different ways. Some will be like, clutch my pearls, how dare she say that to a mourning widow? And then some of y'all gonna be like, yeah, get at her, bro, or get at her, girl. Erika Kirk lying. I don't know what to say, okay? This whole thing is an absolute mess. And what's crazy is this is now getting worse than the beef between Tupac and Biggie. I said it. Either you West Coast or you East Side. That is it, right? You are either on this team of Candace Owens or you are on the team of TPUSA or you're on the side of Erika Kirk, right? There is no in between. You can't even be like, can't I just enjoy both their music, sis? Can't I just enjoy both their music, sis? I like their beats. They got good beats. Nope. Can't even do that. Nope. You're either Candace Owens or you are TPUSA. There is no in between, even though I'm in between. I'm sitting there going like, I just want to see. I just want to know what happened. I just want to know what happened, man. I just want to know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the middle. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not like West Side or East Side. You know what I mean? East Side, you know? Like, all I'm saying is this is absolutely crazy. And the fact that Candace Owens has reacted in the way with Erika Kirk's basically her way of saying, hey, I'm tired of this. You know, I've had enough, you know, that whole thing. Well, she has every right to say that. Doesn't matter if she's CEO or not. That's just my personal opinion. I know some of y'all like, nah, man, she needs to be like CEO. You feel me? She needs to be diplomatic and ish. You know what I'm saying? She needs to compartmentalize and ish. You feel me, son? She got people looking at her, looking up at her, man. She the CEO of this, son. I understand all that. Trust me, I understand all that. Okay? Trust, I get it. But at the same time, she's still the widow. She is still the widow. Yeah, I was throwing up gang signs. Okay? I was throwing up the gang signs. All right? But she's still a widow, everybody. She's allowed to say, I've had enough. You know? My name's Erika Kirk and I can't take it anymore. You know what I mean? She has a right to do that. Okay? She has a right. But I also understand that she has a mission. She is a CEO. She needs to do what she needs to do, right? Now, no, I did not know that, Messi. Do you know what time that's at? Let me know, Messi, okay? Let me know, okay? By the way, real quick, I forgot to share this with you guys, and I need to share this with you guys because, you know, of course, it is the time of the year, okay? Is that time of year, whatever the song is, okay? Give love on Christmas Day. You know, Johnny Gill, nobody. It's okay. If you don't, look it up. Give love on Christmas Day. Johnny Gill. Just look it up, okay? You'll enjoy it if you are a fan of Johnny Gill, okay? But moving on. Real quick, a little bit left turn, but I do want to let you guys know about this, okay? We do have, for those who are, you know, parents out there, even the grandparents that have little ones, you know, your daughters and whatnot, we do have custom-made Christmas bows, okay? Festive Christmas bows being made, okay? We are, you know, handcrafted, made right here, okay? So go check them out. You can find them right there over at pascalmerch.com. They're just limited edition handmade bows for your little girls, okay? Or, you know, if you need something festive for, because I know you know, ladies, you know, you want to wear a little bow or something like that, you're more than welcome to go check it out. It's over on pascalmerch.com. You open up the page, you'll see it right there, okay? Check it out. There's a variety of bows. Go check them out when you get a chance. I'm telling you right now, they're really, really great. They're cute as hell. They're very, very festive. And these 4 are just the tip of the iceberg, okay? There's so much more. And the price range is from $5 to $15. So you can go buy a bunch of them, Okay, a handful of different ones, you know what I mean? All for like $5 each. Some are bigger bows, much bigger bows as well. So and you'll have all the measurements over there on the website. So please go check that out. Okay, pascalmerch.com. We got those up for a limited flash kind of sale type of thing. So go check it out. I guarantee you're gonna love what you see over there. Go check it out. Okay, something a little different, but we wanted to do something festive. And these are very little, little bows, but we do have some other ones that are much bigger that are just really dope. Very festive. Go check it out when you get a second. And like I said, what I just showed you guys in that flyer is not even giving the whole thing justice, because the arsenal that we have on there, the layout that we have is absolutely amazing. So go check it out, pascalmerch.com. Now, we got to get back into this thing, okay? And I appreciate you guys letting me do that shameless plug, okay? But we got some really great stuff, okay? So, again, we got some really great stuff here over on that page. So go check it out, pascalmerch.com. But we have got to take a look at her reaction. I have not been able to give you guys this, but I wanted you guys to see this too. Okay. Now, if you guys saw my video yesterday, if I'm correct, Tim Pool literally lost his doggone marbles. Okay. He literally lost his mind. I understand that he's going through a lot. Trust me, being a podcaster, running a business, doing everything you can to make your show be great, making multi-millions of dollars, because this man makes crazy money. Okay, he's very good at what he does. I'm going to be real. Just because I don't agree with him doesn't mean I can't sit there. Or just because I don't agree with everything he says. Let me correct myself. Just because I don't agree with everything he says does not mean that I can't give respect on game. And what he's been doing, okay, he is, he's got quite the business model, right? That's very impressive, inspiring, to be honest, okay? And a lot of people would love to have that, right? And shoot, Copper Horse, man, I'd love to be making millions of dollars off of what I do. Shoot, let it come raining down on me now, please and thank you, okay? I would love to be making that monies, but I don't want that stress. I will tell you that. I will tell you what, okay? But I love what I do. And he is at that level that, of course, a lot of us would like to get to, right? But I want to get there my way, right? Nonetheless, though, he loses his doggone mind. He calls Candace Owens the C word. Which, by the way, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Don't call women the C word. Don't you dare. Don't you mother loving dare. Don't you do that. There's no coming back from that. Do you understand? There is no coming back from saying the C word on a woman. There is no coming back. Do you understand? He kind of went to the point of no return by saying the mother loving C word. She reacts to his meltdown. We got to see this one too. Does she have care or no? Oh my God. Stuff is getting messy. Let's take a listen to this.
As you power, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors shouldn't give two no one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is not a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find that very easy. Secondly,
Oh boy.
Tim Pool doesn't even have the intellect to understand that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Okay, now first off, terrible freeze frame. Hold on, let me just let her speak like 2 more words.
So
Okay, we're gonna stop right there. Okay, better. Here's the thing. Okay, it's hilarious. Okay, yeah, reality. The beef is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It all revolves. It all revolves around Charlie Kirk's demise. Okay. Now, here's the thing. He is literally like, flabbergasted. He big mad. Yeah, he big mad, Waffles. Now, here's the thing. All right. What I find very funny about this is that he who cracks first loses thy battle. And this is exactly what we're seeing right here. Tim Pool lost his mind. He instantly loses, literally. Instantly loses. He lost the game instantly. So she is on the higher ground. You know what I mean? She has the higher hand. She has the higher ground now. Because look at her response, right? She's just sitting there calmly, Can't you see the estrogen just pumping out of his body? No man would ever speak. No man like him would ever speak to another man like this. This is estrogen energy, right? As we heard earlier, her calling him big estrogen energy, right? So let's be real. He called her the C word, which does not help the situation at all. Okay. Second, he lost his mind. And I understand that there's a lot of things brimming. You got somebody who went bang, bang at your house. She came out with other allegations saying that it was his brother that pulled the trigger at his house 3 times. Where she got that proof, I don't know. Tim Pool got mad as hell about that. Yeah, he was basically saying things with Milo about the Charlie Kirk situation, and he was mentioning Candace Owens. So his face was in the thumbnail. You see what I'm saying? So again, a part of me goes, okay, Tim Pool, you kind of messed up. You kind of messed up. And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with showing emotion. I understand you being upset. There's nothing wrong with being passionate. But as soon as you started calling her names, that's where you messed up. Let's be real. And here's the other thing, too. Couldn't you have waited for the cameras to be off for you to go off like that? Why do that right then and there? Don't get me wrong. He's going to get more and more supporters. He's going to get more and more viewers going and tuning into his show because he lost his cool. There's going to be people out there going, damn right. Damn right she's a C word. Finally, somebody said it, not me. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be plenty of people like that, right? And that's, hey, he going to get some more people listening to his ish because he went unhinged. But at the same time, in this battle between you and her, you lost. You lost. Sorry, but you lost. And now she's able to make you look small now. You see what I'm saying? He should have used that opportunity to take the high road, say something else, whatever it may be, right? But he's so angry, not only because somebody pow-powed his house, but also because the midterms are coming up and, MAG is falling apart and all this stuff that's going on. He's like, we should be concentrating on the goal. Why is everybody fighting each other? That's basically what he's doing. Why are we fighting each other? We should all be, we're MAGA. And they're not. They're not thinking about MAGA no more. They're thinking America first off. And second, they're not thinking about MAGA anymore. They're busy eating each other. They're all attacking each other right now. He's like, don't you remember the cause? We're all here for the same thing. Ah! And it's not happening anymore. So he's mad. And everybody's tuning in. Hundreds of thousands of people are tuning into just this woman right here. Just sitting there with popcorn, just going, what is she going to say next? What is she going to, the military? Oh my God, the French. What is it? What, the Israel? You know what I'm saying? And everyone's eating it up. Even me. Okay? Even me. But you won't see me going and losing my mind and calling her the C word. I know better. Okay? That's not allowed. That word should never be allowed. Okay? Should never be allowed. It's like the female N-word. You understand? Do you understand? You don't say that, man. As soon as you say that, you lose. Dag nabbit. Let's continue.
He thinks he's being accused. No, you accused me of that in like a actually, I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. And that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now. Okay. So this little, and I really like, he's a small person for this, a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter. Okay.
She said Timothy Smollett. Come on, man. Oh my God. She really does not think that bang bang thing did not actually, okay. She thinks it didn't happen, but apparently it did.
Okay. Pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being what? The 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's braving, is jumping on the side of what everyone else is doing. He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there. He should apologize. He won't. I don't care what happens to his platform. He's now essentially trying out because he's under financial pressure. He's trying out for a Zionist to pay him, and they will. Okay, they will cut him a check, and I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy. But to do that to someone who has never done anything to you other than disagree with you about the Charlie Kirk narrative, I have not focused my content on you, and anytime your name has come up, it has been because you have explicitly been attacking me. You are a coward. You are less than a man.
Oh,
okay. You are behaving. Your type right there is like a person who's having financial issues and yet decides to go out and put $100K on a poker game, and when he loses and is a further $100K in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids and thinks he's a tough guy. That's how you're acting right now.
Oh, damn. I don't know what happened there, but oh my God. Well, she's clearly a debater, okay? As Cartman would say, a master debater, right? So she's good at these debates. She's calm. She cool. She don't care. She's like, oh, you mad? Oh, you mad? Oh, you mad? Oh, okay. Oh, you mad? Yeah, she really is going there. Damn.
I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids. Get your affairs in order and stop blaming me, because I'm actually traversing down the path that hasn't been traveled by standing up and saying that something corrupt happened and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I don't care about your midterms. Okay. I don't care about your next year midterms and whether or not the Republican Party is united. Okay. Because I don't want to stand next to people that would cover up Charlie Kirk's assassination. I hope that I have made my point perfectly clear.
There was a firefight. Yikes. Shots, mother loving fired. All right. I feel like I lost, like I have no testosterone in my body anymore. I think she just took it all out of me. I don't know what's going on, but she has that, man, diggity damn. Okay. She definitely is in her, she definitely said what she had to say there. You felt that one, didn't you? I felt that. And I'm not Tim Pool. Okay. Damn. She's not playing. But here's the thing. She ain't wrong with the whole thing of like, get your ish in order. You know, she is not the brunt of all of his problems. If what really happened to him has something to do with financials and the fact that he needs to beef up security, that's not her doing. That's whatever's going on. There's crazy people out here that are trying to there are crazy people out here that are trying to do bad things to people, period, point blank. You know, if you have to beef up your security, then you got to find ways to beef up your security and do it properly. One thing I also found very jacked up real quick about this whole thing, and I said it in the video that I talked about when we talked about him melting down. I said this. I think it's really jacked up that during his meltdown, he's like, she's only got one fat guy in a 4-foot fence, a 4-foot wall, and a fat guy protecting her home. She has nothing to worry about. She has nothing to worry about. All that stuff. Do you realize that you just told all the bad people out here that are wanting to do bad things to her now know that piece of information? Thank you so much for putting that out for everyone to hear. You see what I'm saying? And I even paused the video in that recording, in that video, and I even said, Candace, if you're watching this video right now, this is the time you beef up security because of what he said. He said it out loud. He didn't have to say any of that. He didn't. He could have just said, he could have just continued his frustrations, talking about what he's pissed off about. But no, he didn't. He did not. Okay? They said all that. He said all of that. Like, what are you doing? Go now, Candace, because there's plenty of people, I'm sure, that feel some type of way. Like I said, if they're going after Tim Pool, there's probably people trying to do bad things and trying to plot to do bad things to you too. So please, he said that out loud to hundreds of thousands of listeners, if not possibly millions, because people love to see when somebody's melting down, right? Please make sure you have this proper security. And I say the same thing to Tim Pool or anybody else. I don't care if you're my friend or my enemy. No one should be losing their lives just because they're on a microphone on camera. That's ridiculous. Just like Charlie Kirk. I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk, but how he lost his life, that's insane. No one should lose their life for being on a microphone. And no one like Tim Pool or anybody else should be so stressed out that they can't even sleep, or they're talking about possibly getting a stroke in the future, right? That's not good. You see what I'm saying? You build the security team that you see fit. You find the best way possible to fund that type of security, and you keep it moving, right? But when you have people out here going out of their way, to go to your home, if your show is inside your home where you're bringing in all kinds of names and people and all that, yeah, people are going to eventually know where you freaking live if your studio is in your home. I'm just going to be real. You got to find a way to separate both those things, right? Have your studio one place and have your home completely somewhere else. That's what I would say. Or start having your guests come in remotely, virtually. You see what I'm saying? Do that. That's a way of getting it done. I know it's better to have them in person. Trust me, I know. Okay. But at the same time, if you're trying to protect yourself and protect your family, that's one way of getting it done. But like I said, I've already talked about this in the other video. By all means, go check that out whenever you guys get a chance. But let me talk to you guys about some of these super chats here really quick. First of all, Angelina, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I know somebody just said that they just bought some bows. Thank you so very much for buying some bows. Thank you so very much. That's awesome. Thank you. Wow. Somebody just bought a bunch of bows. So thank you very much. Thank you. First purchase ever on the bows. So we all do really appreciate it over here at the show. Thank you so very much. Happy days. Thank you so much again for the super chat and all the super chats that are coming up here. Thank you guys so much. Was Erika the heir apparent to the throne that Charlie vacated? I'm not understanding why she's in power in a power position now. She's just a wife. That's a thing I think Candace Owens was also trying to point out in the first thing when she was reacting to Erika Kirk. That's one thing I'm kind of curious about as well. Was it in his will that he was like, I relinquish everything to my wife and my family? I don't know. We don't know the facts. We don't know anything. All we know is that she was named CEO as soon as he lost his life. And I think that part of it has to do with the fact that she's a Kirk. That's what I truly think. And who better than to be his wife, his partner, the other person that understands his goals and what he was going for. Think about that for a second. That's possible. Or it could be something else. I don't know. I think we're all going to find out soon enough. Or Candace Owens will start asking questions about that, right? We'll see. No joy here. Stop reading what people say and move on with life. Stop reading what people say and move on with life. I don't know what that means, but yeah, we should move on with life. I think that's what we're all doing. But okay, no joy here. Thank you so much for the super chat. Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for both of them. I appreciate both. Thank you so very much. Grace, thank you so much for the love, and always to my mods. Shout out to my mods for always being incredible. Thank you guys for always holding it down. She still has to keep grinding to pay employee salaries. So now she's now the primary responsible person. Plus, she has to keep going for her kids. You're absolutely, and see, that's an aspect of this whole thing too that makes total sense, right? That the money meter is still ticking, is still going, and somebody has to bring home the bacon. I totally understand that part too. But there's another piece that's like, well, the timing is weird. The timing is a little bit weird. And they're going so hard in the paint. Y'all, they're going so freaking hard in the paint. Like, do you understand how hard in the paint that they're going right now? They got a book out already. They didn't even wait that he was not even cold in the ground. They already got a book out already. You see what I'm saying? They didn't even wait 6 months to say, oh, here's a book, by the way. Oh, by gosh, we found a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. They just came out with the book like that. That's insane. That's wild. No disrespect. No disrespect whatsoever. But at the same time, the timing is just a little bit strange. But yes, she has to keep grinding for the employees and all that. But I feel like they could have done stuff and they would have been fine after that memorial service. I'm going to be real. Like they didn't even need to start expanding. They don't. They raised over $100,000 on the memorial itself. They would have been just fine if they just kept things at status quo for that moment and then started to grow. But they're trying to capitalize on his demise by marketing. And then, like I said, she has been on Sean Hannity. She has been on every Fox News channel show promoting this book now. And I'm like, wow, when is she going to take a moment to just rest for like, just take 2 weeks off? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Just saying. I got questions, right? But I get it. She got mouths to feed, many mouths to feed aside from her own family. Moving on. Ride. I'll just say that. Ride, what's up? Thank you so much for the love. Before Charlie's demise, Erika was worth $2 million. Today, she's worth 14 mil. Just saying. Diggity damn. 14 mil. Okay. And Ree, thank you so much for gifting 2 memberships. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. And for those 2, welcome to the family. Those 2 members. She just gifted you a membership. She just gave you some positivity. All I ask for you guys to do is pay it forward. Okay, open the door for somebody. Do something nice for somebody. It's the small niceties that really keep this world going round. So just pay it forward. Okay. Thank you, Ree, for the gifts. We really do appreciate that. Michelle, what's up? Thank you so much. She's the female Alex Jones, but she's scary calm. Yeah, she's not very gay frogs. He goes crazy. I'll string him up and then chop him up, and he's very Alex Jonesy. She's not. She loves chaos. I think she's calm when everything's just in disarray. She's just like, I am in peace. I am one. One is me. I am one. You know what I'm saying? She just seems that she loves it. She's a debater, guys. Like I said, she is a master debater. Okay. She is a master debater. So she loves when things go awry because it's like, ooh, now I get to just knock them down. I get to knock them 15 pegs down because, ooh, they just made them look like Boo Boo the Fool. I love it. You know what I mean? L Squared, thank you so much for the love. Oh, I needed that laugh today. Thank you. This ish is needed. It is indeed crazy. Yes, all of it, L Squared. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much for laughing along with me and enjoying the show. But yes, this is absolutely crazy. All of it is absolutely crazy. All right. All of this is insane. And this is all happening within MAGA. Or now, now that Candace Owens has kind of left the MAGA movement, you know what I'm saying? Tucker Carlson's left the MAGA movement. It's kind of like this weird civil war going on within the MAGA world, right? The Republican conservative commentator world. And if you notice, there are other people trying to get into the conversation as well, which is interesting. You got the likes of Megyn Kelly trying to tap in as well. And I don't know if they, it's like, I don't know if they want this beef. I really don't know if they want a piece of this beef, y'all. I really don't. But at the same time, there are people that are trying to kind of like, dip their toe into the chaos just for the sake of being a part of it, And I have to say, I think we just need to leave it as is, okay? Candace Owens, Erika Kirk, now they're going head to head, which is absolutely insane. Let's see what comes of it, right? Let's see what happens. But this is insane. And there's so much more that has been said. And I wish I had more time to do it tonight, but I just don't. Okay? But I will say, man, is it getting messy. And as it continues, as the world turns, we will continue to talk about this. Get ready. Because I don't think it's going to get any cleaner. I don't think it's going to tidy up. I think it's going to get even messier here very, very soon. The question still remains. Are you still on the side of Candace Owens? Do you think that she is onto something here? Or do you think she is absolutely off this planet? She is spun off and there's no coming back. Is she needing some serious meds or no? That's the question I'll leave to you guys for tonight. But that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. It really means the world to me that you guys came in to watch this show. You could watch anything else, and you decided to watch this show, and that really means the world to me. And we have so much to talk about. There's so much going on. There was other stories I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I'm going to wait for tomorrow to talk to you guys about all those things. And I'm sure there's going to be more updates on other things here very soon. So get ready. It's going to be a wild next couple days, just so you know. So do me a favor before you head out. I appreciate all y'all. Seriously, thank you guys so much. First off, don't forget to go check out those bows. We got some really nice bows, like I said, at PascalMerch.com. Christmas bows. Go check them out. Limited edition. Limited edition. Go check them out. PascalMerch.com. You know, for your daughters, for your little girls, you know, or your grandkids, your granddaughters. All right. So make sure you do that. But check out that like button down below. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. If I entertained you, please make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. And if you are watching on these other platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. Subscribe here on my main channel, please, and thank you. That'd be greatly appreciated. Go to my second channel and my third channel, The Pascal Show Clips and Pascal Raw. Make sure you're subscribed over there onto those channels. Please and thank you. That would be amazing. Hit that notification bell on all those platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. All right. Hit that join button down below, like some of you guys just became members. Please consider supporting the channel by hitting that join button down below and becoming a part of the member, part of the family. Okay. Becoming a family member. Hit that join button down below. Check out my Patreon, and of course, check out, like I said, PascalMerch.com. We got some really nice bows over there and other things as well. Very unique stuff. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. It is time to get going. Much love to you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a safe rest of your night. Talk to you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.